CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the latest on the Cami assembly plant shutdown. A local opposition MPP is calling on the provincial government to get more involved as workers wait for answers on their uncertain future. With more on Terence Kernahan's message, here's Rita Ismail.
It's been almost a month. From the province, it's been crickets.
At Queen's Park, pressure is building for clearer answers about the future of the Cami plant in Ingersoll. London North Centre MPP Terence Kernahan says protections that once supported Canadian auto workers have been chipped away, leaving thousands vulnerable as governments negotiate with GM.
There used to be good protections in place like AutoPact. If companies want to sell here, then they have to build here. But unfortunately, we've seen governments erode those protections.
Kernahan says the province has offered no clear plan, even as uncertainty grows for Cami's workforce.
Right now, the Cami workers have been very strong. They're saying that nothing will go in and nothing will come out of that plant, and they want the province to stand up for them.
But the Ford government says it is at the table.
We're hearing right now from GM, they're still being a little tight-lipped. They're saying they want to do something. And if they don't want to do something, then, we're going to fill that plant one way or another. And we've been working with the federal government on building military vehicles there as well. So there's a couple options on the table.
In a statement to CTV News, Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, Victor Fedeli, spokesperson, said our legal team remains in close contact with GM and our labor partners to ensure that our agreements are respected and enforced. If these commitments are not honored, funding must be returned. Still, Kernahan says the lack of concrete information is putting enormous pressure on workers and their families.
It's really deeply distressing that we see 1,200 workers who are concerned about their families, about their future, about their ability to bring home a paycheck, put food on the table, and, pay all of their bills.
In an update to members Monday, Unifor Local 88 plant chair Mike Van Bokel said, "We are trying to give our members some options going forward. We want to be clear that our main goal is to try and retain the plant and push GM to consider the short-term and long-term future of our plant." Cami workers say they'll continue to hold the line until they get answers. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Meanwhile, union leaders in Windsor are marking 100 days on the picket line outside an automotive business.
Are they going to open it again? Are they committed to working and having this plant in Canada? Or are they just going to shift our jobs and our investment to the United States?
Titan Tool employees have been locked out since August. According to union leaders, it's the longest ever labor dispute in Windsor's auto sector, eclipsing a 99-day strike at Ford in 1945. At this point, there's no indication from either side on progress toward an agreement. To London City Hall, and a revelation from Councillor Susan Stevenson, who says she's been attending committee meetings remotely to avoid disrespect and harassment.
I'm looking for my colleagues' support, quite frankly, to ensure that I do have a safe space to come, to represent the residents that I represent, to speak freely, to bring different and diverse opinions to this council.
Stevenson did not identify anyone by name, but said the behavior is ongoing and unresolved. The committee was debating whether to join the Elect Respect campaign, pledging to keep municipal politics free of harassment. When Stevenson arrived for the second meeting of the day, she did not sit in her assigned seat. The deputy mayor was the only committee member who did not support the pledge, calling it virtue signaling.
To me, this pledge doesn't really accomplish anything. I think that the tools we have, and I know Councillor Stevenson and I may disagree on this one, I think the tools we have around this are the Integrity Commissioner process, are the Code of Conduct.
There was an enthusiastic turnout earlier tonight for the final public meeting before budget deliberations begin on Thursday.
We hear about strategies, long-term visions, 5-year plans. But people don't live in strategies, they live in tents.
It'd be really great if some of that money could be used to, make
London a little bit more affordable.
The last 2 years of tax spikes were so high.
You would be absolutely amazed and impressed with what young people can do if you empower them.
Guelph and Hamilton have proven that multi-residential composting systems can be successful.
21 Londoners told City Council about their priorities for the 2026 budget. Mayor Josh Morgan has proposed a 3.6% property tax increase ahead of a municipal election year. After the meeting, he acknowledged public concerns on affordability, but said the city has few options to meet rising demands for services.
I think our investments are aligned with what Londoners are asking for. The challenge is municipalities continue to be stretched for resources, and we don't have a lot of places to go besides property taxes, user fees, and grants from other levels of government.
Officials at City Hall are developing a plan to revitalize downtown London, still emerging from the pandemic aftermath.
The downtown still faces challenges, but it is moving forward, it is improving, and it is becoming more welcoming.
Let's be ambitious and let's be bold. The business community stands with you.
Following extensive community consultation, the first phase includes quick start measures addressing public drug use, street-level homelessness, parking, and coordinating different organizations. A final report and recommendations will be completed by April. The mayor agreed with downtown stakeholders that recent downtown safety improvements are not reflected in public perception.
The perception on downtown from perhaps people who aren't here regularly to see the improvements is obviously lagging. And I wonder what the plan can do, aside from the activations and the other things, to try to align those better.
London police say they've laid charges against a suspect they say caused a serious crash last month that killed a local doctor. The crash happened October 21st on Fanshawe Park Road. Dr. Agron Elijah was pronounced dead at the scene. The 63-year-old has been described by friends as a compassionate and committed physician. Police say the other driver involved is 43-year-old Andrew Clark. He's been charged with dangerous driving causing death and stunt driving. Woodstock's former mayor Trevor Burch will learn his sentence in the new year for a sexual assault conviction. With more on his appearance this morning at the London courthouse, here's Nick Paparella.
The embattled former mayor of Woodstock, Trevor Burch, has had his fair share of legal woes over the past 5 years. He had 2 sexual assault trials at the London courthouse involving 2 separate women he had relationships with. One case ending with a mistrial, the other with a conviction. Then in February, the 50-year-old pled guilty to an impaired driving charge after he crashed his vehicle in Zora Township near Woodstock. After that, his lawyer Jim Batten was disbarred, so Burch was granted time to obtain new representation, eventually hiring Jordan Gold out of Toronto. During a brief court appearance via Zoom, Gold decided not to proceed with another mistrial application, instead setting a date for a sentencing hearing on the sexual assault convictions from the second trial. Justice Spencer Nicholson, who has referred to Burch as an obvious liar, will be hearing sentencing submissions on January 29th. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
The provincial government faces pushback on its Bill 33 and the limited debate that came with it. The legislation would give the Education Ministry more control over Ontario's school boards, much like the takeover at the Thames Valley Board. Siobhan Morris reports.
This is the last round of debate on the controversial Bill 33.
They think they can ram it through under the cover of darkness with very little debate.
Something opposition parties say has been a pattern.
The concentration of power at Queen's Park and the erosion of local democratic voices.
The bill fast-tracked, skipping over committee hearings and protracted debate. Educators say it's a sign.
There's something wrong here. There's something nasty taking place.
The legislation forces boards to take on school resource programs if their local police service offers one, and make it easier for the Minister of Education to take the reins of boards. something Paul Callander has already done 5 times.
The ministry needs to have more authority to step into school boards that have gone off the rails. We have more than enough examples of that.
While Callander insists he doesn't have any immediate takeover plans when the bill passes, he is keeping an eye on the Near North District School Board.
I don't think the minister should have to wait till the board is completely falling apart before he or she steps in.
Educators insist Bill 33 isn't about helping kids.
It is about silencing parents and local communities who know our schools best.
Bill 33 is a distraction from the conditions that exist in our schools today.
Conditions that can be rough for teachers and students.
Chronic underfunding, a crisis in understaffing, overcrowded classrooms, and workers and students facing daily violence with too few supports.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
4 new public schools now have names. They were selected based on the Thames Valley School Board's new practice of community suggestions rather than naming them after significant people. In Lucan, Clover Public School is expected to open in February 2027, accommodating more than 500 students. In West London, Riverbend Public School is expected to open in September 27 with a similar capacity. Next September, Jackson Meadows Public School will open in Southeast London, and Belmont Meadows will open in January 2027. The new names were selected through a ranked preference poll based on community submissions. A new survey on Canadian retirement preparedness shows many seniors are increasingly concerned for their finances, stressed over their ability to cover basic living expenses. With more on the factors at play, here's Heather Wright.
The number of people living past 100 has more than doubled in the last 25 years. And for some, retirement is starting earlier and lasting longer, forcing tough financial decisions.
I think in the economy today, people have to keep working.
According to a survey from Manulife, 42% of respondents say they are worried about paying for basic expenses in retirement. That's up from 28% in 2020. 43% are worried about health care costs in retirement, an increase from 31% 5 years ago. And nearly half say their retirement savings are behind schedule.
That concern around day-to-day expenses, this is something that is a concern for pre-retirees and everybody. So it's not surprising to me that that would also be a concern going into retirement.
While the number of people retiring early is increasing, it's not always by choice. According to Manulife, only 15% of those who retired early did so because they had saved enough money. 33% retired due to their health, while 13% retired to care for a loved one, which is why experts say planning for various scenarios is key.
Disability is a reality as you get older, and especially amongst seniors. It's just really critical that we're planning for that.
Fiona Cassidy is among the 15% who retired early by choice. She says having a plan is key, and so is starting early.
Getting the benefits of accrued interest is, that's a smart way to do it.
Experts say another factor to consider when retirement planning is inflation. And while it dipped slightly to 2.2% last month, the cost of living is still putting a squeeze on those on a fixed income. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A local family are navigating another cancer diagnosis not long after losing a father to the disease. As Brent Lail reports, it's been an emotional and painful ordeal, but there's been no shortage of community support.
For Zachary La Liberty, music gives a brief reprieve from the pain.
It just makes me feel calm.
Over the past 4 years, Zachary and his mom have been through hell.
In 2022, we lost my husband, Zachary's dad, to esophageal cancer. He battled fiercely for 16 months. A year later, we're starting to find our way alone, and Zachary gets diagnosed with his brain tumor.
In grade 3, Zachary came home with a headache. A few months later, a doctor's appointment discovered pressure against the back of his eyes. And later, Jennifer's worst nightmare.
She asked Zachary to leave the room and said, "I'm certain Zachary has a brain tumor," and I couldn't believe it.
Over the past 2 years, he's been on oral chemotherapy twice a day, but it comes with cognitive fatigue.
They expect him to grow up and get married. However, things will not be easy for Zachary.
To temporarily make life easier, local musicians, the Risdales, held their 18th annual Risdales Roots Roundup. It's a cancer fundraiser which brought in $10,000.
The cost of cancer is so much more than the physical cost. Just the parking, the coffees, a little treat, stopping at Toys R Us after a difficult medical appointment.
Zachary turns 11 years old today, and this past weekend he received the best birthday present he could ask for, a surprise entry in Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s baseball camp.
He rolled it to me, and then I threw it to him, and then he caught it, and he nodded his head to me.
I didn't know that he would get to throw the ball with Vladdy, so when I saw that, my eyes welled up with joy.
For a moment, it was a chance to forget about all the pain and suffering these two have been through, and knowing there's more to come.
He's one of the most resilient kids I've ever met.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Still ahead, the push for public disclosure gets a major boost. The near unanimous congressional vote to publish the Epstein files. Another day of losses on markets both sides of the border. In Toronto, the TSX lost 39 points. In New York, the Dow sunk close to 500. The Nasdaq fell 275. The Canadian dollar rose almost a fifth of a cent. On commodities, gold fell $8 an ounce. Oil gained 81 cents a barrel. After months of delays and pushback, American lawmakers voted almost unanimously to compel the Justice Department to release all its files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Joy Malvin has more on the vote and what comes next.
I was a child. I was in 9th grade. I was hopeful for life.
They were all hopeful once, holding up photos of themselves as young girls.
That's how old we were when we were abused by Epstein and Maxwell.
Fighting for decades to be heard and believed. Together, their voices have become powerful.
We were victimized as children and failed repeatedly by the very system that was supposed to protect us.
The president's relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has haunted Donald Trump. Trump's name mentioned in hundreds of Epstein's personal emails. There's no suggestion of wrongdoing, but after months of resistance, a dramatic about-face from this president. No longer opposed, the House vote went ahead.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1.
In a rare show of bipartisan unity, almost every Republican voted to release the Justice Department records, investigations that could expose the rich and powerful who abused hundreds of young girls.
There's becoming a reckoning in Britain that needs to happen in the United States. A prince lost his title. We need to see those same kind of consequences here.
It's a remarkable political moment for a president facing pressure and mass defections from his own MAGA supporters.
He called me a traitor for standing with these women. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart.
President Trump has the power to release these records, but lashed out when asked why he doesn't do it now.
You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
Tonight, the Senate swiftly agreed to pass the Epstein bill, sending the measure to the president's desk, who said he would sign it into law, starting a 30-day clock to release the files. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Good evening. We have a bit of cloud cover overnight, but skies will clear heading into tomorrow morning. It's getting chilly with wind chill overnight, feeling close to -8. We'll start your Wednesday morning at -3. Thanks, Trish. If you're heading out with Dalton, Willow, and Hazel, I love how they have their hats on. It will be a cold, frosty morning. Lots of sunshine, though, in the forecast for your Wednesday. I'll have your local weather details coming up in just a few minutes.
'Tis the season for helping others, and the Business Cares Food Drive is how we can all help Londoners in need.
On November 29th and 30th, over 40 participating grocery stores and hundreds of volunteers will be collecting food and donations.
Over 40% of people who use the London Food Bank are children, so your support is needed now more than ever. Let's ensure everyone has a happy holiday.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie now, and we did see the snow disappear over the course of last week. Are we heading toward that direction this week as well?
Yeah, temperatures are going to climb. Now, tomorrow will be the exception. We'll be in the low single digits. But as we head toward the weekend, daytime highs are set to climb 8-9 degrees. So that's above normal. You can see a normal daytime high is +6. Forecast looks beautiful for tomorrow. We've been battling a bit of cloud cover through the day and into tonight. That's low pressure moving by to the south. You can see the moisture associated with it moving through Ohio and Pennsylvania. But our area of high pressure has been able to keep that system at bay, so the dry air winning out. That means that a lot of this that you're looking at has been evaporating before it hits the ground. Close to the low, that's where we're seeing the active weather with some showers and some mixed precipitation. But most of the action to the north really not materializing as a whole lot at the surface. Now, in and around Windsor and Chatham this afternoon, there was a few light sprinkles and reports of some mixed precipitation early, but overnight we're just expecting mainly cloudy skies. Heading into sunrise, cloud cover starts to break up. High pressure will drift over the Great Lakes, and that means we're back into some sunshine for the day. Beautiful conditions. It's chilly out there tonight, though, and those overnight lows dropping between about -2 and -4. And we have a bit of a wind chill, feeling close to -6 to -8. Next 24-hour model keeps us in the clear. Beautiful Wednesday, gorgeous conditions. We'll start to see increasing cloud cover as we head into Thursday. So overcast conditions expected. And then Thursday night, we do have some rainfall. Chance for showers on Friday. Our next area of low pressure, it's one of the systems that'll come in from the American Midwest, and that means it'll have a southerly component to it. That will result in showers, not snow. And this time of year can quickly turn. So at this point, we're on the mild side. 3 degrees, mainly sunny, winds light and variable for your Wednesday. Thursday, mainly cloudy and 9 degrees. Night showers moving in. On Friday, a 40% chance of showers, a probability on the lower end, still quite mild at +9. And then Saturday into Sunday, mainly sunny to a mix of sun and cloud. If you have some outdoor chores to do this weekend, perhaps you need to clean up the yard still, getting ready for the season ahead, or put up some Christmas decorations outdoors. This looks like a great weekend to get outside. 9 degrees with the chance of showers Monday, although the probability on the very low end, and we'll hit 7 on Tuesday. Midwestern Ontario, you had some sun today. It was quite lovely at times this afternoon. A bit of cloud cover through the overnight, but back into a mix of sun and cloud through the day. Tomorrow, 3 degrees, 8 with a chance of nighttime showers on Thursday. And your overnight low is cold over the next couple of nights. So anything that's melting through the day of freezing conditions, of course, we will be dealing with a bit of slush out there. And freezing overnight will mean some slippery conditions first thing in the morning. The melt will be on, though. Friday with showers, a mix of sun and cloud both Saturday and Sunday. Could see some mixed precipitation at night with those overnight lows, -4 to -8. But again, forecast models not indicating any high impact weather. The weekend looks dry, beautiful, and chance for showers as we head into early next week. But we will average above normal for our daytime highs over the next 7. Have a great night, and we'll see you again soon. Carlyle, back to you.
Thank you, Julie. Reaction today from the local broadcasting community after the death of Bill Brady. He's being remembered as a business leader, humanitarian, and a pioneer in the industry. With a look back at Brady's life, here's Sean Irvin.
In his lifetime, Bill Brady followed a path through all areas of the media business.
One word, huge. Everybody knew Bill Brady because he was everywhere.
Brady, a native of Windsor, stopped in a few places before making London his permanent home in the 60s. CKSL radio was a big part of his career, but he made a name for himself at CFPL.
I was asked, would I be interested in doing a game show? They told me I'd make $52 a show. I thought, I wonder what kind of car I'll buy.
Bill connected with audiences in both radio and television. His voice and face became a source of comfort to the community. He was known to stay on the air during snowstorms and to wait to tape TV shows just so studio audiences had time to arrive.
And then they'd come from places like Dutton and Owen Sound, long way away.
Over time, Bill became a community champion. As a broadcaster, he raised funds through Bunny Bundle, a decades-long effort to support the Thames Valley Children's Center.
We've raised public awareness about diabetes and how important a cure needs to be found.
Longtime London morning personality Steve Garrison grew up wanting to be Bill Brady. Later, he heeded his advice to put London first.
Bill was always available to MC work. He'd be out to 11, 12, midnight, and then he'd be on the radio prepping his show around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Bill received the Order of Canada in 1991 and the Sovereign Medal for Volunteer Service in 2021. But ultimately, he will be remembered as a broadcaster in the golden age of London radio and TV. In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca. Finally tonight, an 11-year-old from St. Mary's tapping her way onto a global stage. The young dancer has just returned home from the World Tap Championship in Europe. As Lauren Stallone reports, she hopes it's just the start of a promising career.
Fresh off representing Team Canada in Prague at the World Tap Dance Championship, St. Mary's Pierce McNeil is feeling grateful and hoping to do it all over again next year.
It was a great feeling. I really liked it.
She says it was a great experience competing on one of the world's biggest stages against nearly 2,000 other dancers.
There's 21 countries and from all over the world.
McNeil says she first started dance class at the age of 2. Something she owes to her mother, Stacy.
We first started with the Mama Me class. From a very young age, right when she could walk, she loved music.
Stacy says it was a dream come true to watch her daughter represent Team Canada.
Seeing her confidence grow, seeing her stage performance really elevate to the next level. We just can't wait to see her on the stage this year at competitions.
McNeil competed in 4 different events, including a production number, formation, trio, and small group number, with her trio placing 5th in the competition. She says the championship has only made her love of tap grow stronger. She even agreed to teach me a couple of steps. And while I think I'll stick to reporting, McNeil's journey is just beginning.
I have a feeling this is probably not a one-time thing for her.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.